Whoa, took a minute. I didn't think it was gonna come through. How do? You know the routine. What's up? What's up? What's happening? So, straight to the gate. You know what we about. You know what this about. We're gonna stick on that last subject. The real deal is gonna be Department of Buildings and their missions. The real deal is you got to catch these organizations and what is their mission? Okay, what is their goal? What are they supposed to achieve? What is they supposed to do to their constituents? All right, because they're serving the public, so you're a constituent, and that basically the same as your local representatives. You are a constituent to them. So on that note, let's move forward. We're gonna go to this. I posted it already. I'm just gonna show you this. And actually, this is that's the foundation. And this is when you put a vehicle, when the land's not backfilled to hold the weight of the vehicle, and it starts to sink, it puts the stress on the foundation. And if you can see, it cracks the foundation. So when the individual was parking next to my property, he must have known that because he made sure he didn't park next to his property. He kept parking next to my property. And what had happened is the parking caused structural damage. Okay? And this is what, when you contact your insurance company in the whole 9 yards, this is what the homeowner insurance company knew. And that because when he went into the lot, he seen, they park vehicles here. Yeah, okay. So instead of just saying, tell you what, we're going to take care of this matter, because all they had to do was basically shore up the property and then take it from there. When they shore up the property, they sustain the wall from it to come down. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even do that. So, and his actions are like, oh, I'm not paying you nothing. You're going to leave this hazard in place? You're an insurance company. You know, if it's a hazard, shouldn't you take action? We're not doing nothing. You know, it's his thing. I'm not doing nothing. You sure about that? Okay, not a problem. The good thing about it was the responding people from Housing Preservation and Department of Buildings, two, I would say, agents. They had shields, and they responded the night it first came down. And because the very people who caused it was the very people who called the city. Like, yo, let's call them on him. But you caused it. You parking the vehicles there. So they called the city and they said he came out and they said what it was. And basically, they told me, they said, this is covered in your insurance. And I said, what? This is covered in your insurance. So when they came back the second time, they said, this is covered. It's in your insurance. You know, people take advantage of you when you're down. You know, like this individual was like, you know, I'm not paying you nothing. Like if you don't got an attorney here to represent you or whatever, I'm not doing nothing. Because the attorney would have said, well, it's within your contract. I suggest you should act within your contract. If you don't and you fail to do so, then we'll take further actions as far as lawsuit. And basically in your contract, because of that, once I went in the hotel, you were supposed to pay for the hotel. And you pay for the hotel up to a year. It's in the contract. You know, the key thing is when you go back to State Farms, they can't find the contract. So there's your negligence right there. There's your impropriety. Because if it happened or it occurred, the first thing they should be able to do is go, here's your contract, show you your contract, if it's not there. Okay? That's the first thing they should be able to do. But they fail to do that. So they're gonna do the other thing as well as the city because they was taking the bribes, and they like, well, we're gonna look the other way, and he gonna have to come after you. And, they work their little magic. But we're gonna go to the fact of you the city, Department of Buildings, right? What is your mission? You do have a mission statement. I noticed when I copied it before and utilized it, you guys took it down. Why was that? You don't want to be held accountable? You're accountable from the fact of the first summons. Right there, from the first summons. Why? Because that showed the gross negligence. That shows the gross negligence on your part. Why? You had a responsibility. Your responsibility under your mission, under your corporate compliance policy, was to make sure that things like this didn't occur. You know what I'm saying? It was to also make sure that stuff like this wouldn't occur. Look at all this illegal parking, man. This guy had construction vehicles in there like crazy, and they were just like, well, no problem. We're going to look the other way. Not a problem. Not a problem. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And then here's it from the beginning, where he was parking the vehicles right next to the house, and that caused an injury. That's in the 80s. In the 80s or early 90s. So you look at that factor, like, his actions are gross negligence. Plain and simple. Just gross negligence. And it also falls on them because they have a responsibility. They have a duty. They failed to do what they were supposed to do under their signed contract agreement with the city and the state. That's their thing. That's what they were supposed to do. When you registered your business with the state, you registered that you was going to take care of these type of matters. But yet and still, what you did in return, look. The board was added after the fence went up, so you couldn't see inside. Come on, man, knock it off. Like I said, my argument is truly with those who are responsible. Why? Because you had an obligation under Mayor Order, Executive Order 16. You had an obligation. Okay? You had an obligation where you were supposed to take action, but you failed to do so. So when you failing to do so and failing to take action, the whole 9 yards, brings about gross negligence. You didn't issue any summonses, you let them do it. It brings about gross misconduct. By what? By an omission, which caused an injury. And an injury is an act or an omission. And the omission is basically something that you fail to do, which is a duty. You fail to do your duty. And yet still you put people in harm's way. So, I look at it where you did it so much and you just really didn't give it. And, this could have went a number of ways. Why? Because there was a hazard there. And then, what really gets it is I got pictures of this knucklehead. I even got video that's up. He's acting like what we used to call him on the block is the mayor. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's not your property. What are you doing? All right? What are you doing? Are you in construction? And people are like, why do you say nothing? Get the picture. What? Get the picture. Get the picture in the video. Why? The picture and the video supersedes you running and telling them, look what he did to my property. Where they'll say, well, I ain't see it. There's a picture. There's a video. Right there. What was your cause and reason for doing that? Well, I was cleaning up. Why was it clean? Well, what made it come down like that? What really made it come down like that? Let's do some research on this. Oh, you were parking vehicles here. That's in violation of R5 and R6 of the residential zone. You know that. But you deliberately park the vehicles there. So you were storing the vehicles there? Yeah. That's 182 self-service storage facility, right? Will you use your property to do so? And then you're doing that cause injury to the adjacent property. I noticed you make sure it didn't cause injury to your property because you didn't park the vehicles there, but it caused injury to the other person's property. Question is, where's Department of the Buildings in there on this and housing preservation? It's not like you don't have a fleet of vehicles. Your vehicles were seen on the block issuing the summonses right across the street. So you see that occurring right there. Why wasn't it documented? Why wasn't a corrective and preventive action taken? Even if you didn't want to issue the summons, who owns this? Well, they own it. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put up a warning, or we're going to give them fair warning under corrective and preventive actions. Okay? If they fail to do so, then the summons is an issue. Now, I know the judge tell us, tell law enforcement, no, you don't got to do that. You doing that as a courtesy. They're in violation of a rule, regulation, or law, especially if they're in violation of law, you take action. If you got to write a summons, you write the summons. If you got to make an arrest, you make the arrest. You take action. That's what the judge say. I was told that personally in court by a judge. He said, you don't water nothing down. You in the blue uniform? Yeah. He said, you got a shield? Yeah. You got an ID? Yeah. Okay, then I can see it clearly. You got the memo book with the summonses? Yes. Then you write the summonses. Summons is nothing but in lieu of arrest. So it's basically an arrest. It's the same thing. But like I said, the key thing is, what is your mission statement? Department of Buildings. What is your mission statement? Because it seemed like you went far off the farm when it came to your mission statement. We're already aware of what happened in 2015 with 50 building inspectors being arrested for bribery. We're not even going to talk about that 34 others. We're going to leave them in the private sector. We're just going to talk about the 16. The 2 bureau chiefs and their 14 people. Something has to come to a head. The people are tired. I mean, it's really horrible. We're going through a pandemic and, people don't know what's to come. It's totally afraid of anything and everything. And then, you got this going on. You got politicians that's in office just looking for a vote. Vote for me, and you're doing nothing. And you say, well, that's not, it is your office. I told you, I got the Mayor Order 16 where it says you have to tell that your councilman, your assemblyman, and all of them, once they notified of that information, they must report it. So when I went to my representative's office, and he called Department of Buildings, told them who he was, and we spoke on the phone. The individual that was on the phone tried to say, well, you didn't make a phone call, you didn't make a complaint. It's not about making a complaint. You want to say, so you're telling me this individual would sit there and do this for 30 years and let's go there. The complaint when I spoke to you was when what? 2012, 2011. It's 2020 and it's still ongoing. So that goes to show that still actions of gross negligence by your organization. Come on now. If you was already spoken to on the Mayor Order 16, if you was already spoken to in 2012 or 2013, right? Let's even say I'll give you 14 if you was already spoken to. It's now 2020 and it's still going on. Explain your actions. Explain your, how would you say, gross negligence. Explain that. I need to understand. I like the fact that, in those news reports, it shows the area of Bushwick was a part of that scheme, which makes you and the representatives of Bushwick, also a part of that scheme. This should have been ended. This should have been ended. There's no cause or reason for no whatsoever for this to still be ongoing. Yeah, that would be a violation of your corporate compliance policies, right there off the top, right off the, right off your mission. Who that? I see somebody popping in. You know, but you got to think about these things. This is how these people, they're doing this stuff. All right, somebody want to be invited. I'll let you in. Who's this? They want to be added to the conversation. Adding, adding. Who is this? Okay. Change it up to Patricia Brown. She just wanted to wave. All right, I got you. I don't know. It's still trying to add you. I don't know if you're coming or not, but it says adding whenever it jumps in. You know. Oh, she deleted it. All right, Patricia. I see you. I see you. You know. But you got to understand where I'm coming from. You got to think about how hard we, um, Aboriginals, people of color, how hard we work to achieve something. This was my mom. You know what I'm saying? Um, um, my mom and my aunt, they both passed. Okay, in a short period of time, they both passed on. So there was a responsibility left to the kids. Everybody else took off. I stayed there, paid for it. I had this deducted right out of my pay. I ain't have to buy you a stamp. I ain't have to buy you money, but I paid for it in full. That's what I did. And then, like after you do that, then here comes the nonsense. Where like, um, you didn't pay that off. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and you still causing injury. I just fixed the injury, and you still causing injury, and the Department of Buildings is doing nothing about this. No, that's gross negligence. That's gross negligence, gross misconduct, abuse of authority. Um, I can't say if you pay taxes, that would be violation of the contract. Somewhere like that. But the thing about it is, this is it. See, they're trying to go back and say, "Oh, well, you didn't do this. Don't go back to that. Let's just go into the first action. You're negligent. Stop kicking people while they're down. When they're trying to get up and they're getting the chance to get up, it really seemed planned out because like I got up and all of a sudden, I'm okay, taking care of everything, good by bed. And then I get this idiot who just comes over from another city agency. He comes in because cronyism, his family get him hooked up in a job, and this guy just starts terrorizing. So when you follow the corporate compliance policy and you tell administration, and they look the other way. But when we take actions, for this action, when you causing this, and we flip out and go physical, then we're wrong. But all he did was just your conflict was just, you just try to get me, you try to hook, as he said, you're gonna hook his child, and they make me flip out, and then you run back to them and say, look, see what he did? No, I went to them and said what he did, and they were supposed to have that conflict resolution meeting, and they didn't. Why? Because you was on probation and you'd have been gone. Moving back to the Department of Buildings, we asked still why. Something must be done in reference to the guy, in reference to this loss, unless in reference to this cause of injury. You are the cause of injury. You have the right to take actions and clear up your matter. If you fail to do so, you are to be held accountable 110%. There's no running behind your corporation. You are need to be held accountable. If you have to step down, you have to step down. This is what the city advocate was supposed to be doing. Although I did contact him, yes, I did, and he did hook me up with a number with DOI, Department of Investigations, and they did hook me up with somebody else. Um, we did speak. What's going on? I understand it's a pandemic. I understand that, but yet still, you got the phone number. You can contact. How you doing? Just want to check in on you with in reference to the situation that's going on, give you an update on this matter. Maybe if I was, I ain't even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. I don't like to try to play the race card where it's business. Just as business. Your actions in this business shows how you treat people in the red line. That's what it shows. And the bad part about it is the people that works for them is the people, your own people that works for them and taking these bribes. I don't give a hell about him. I don't give a hell about him. You don't know who that person is in reference to you. I don't know. I just have to get that out and show that picture that, basically shows um, the cause of action. It's a cause of action. There's no getting around that whatsoever. Some people be like, you can get around it. No, you can't. I'm looking at these on the bottom, wherein my raw iron fence ended up down the block at somebody else's house. This is your neighborhood. This is your neighborhood. The minute you go down, they come in like vultures, snatch your stuff. So my raw iron fence, I was told by another neighbor, he said, your fence is down there. My gazebo was in the person who owns the lot. It was in their side backyard. I came with a U-Haul to move my stuff. Had a brand new washer and dryer. Never used, still had to stick. Brand new refrigerator, double door with the water and all that hookup. Brand new stove, brand new microwave. Well, that disappeared. Yeah. I was told when the people come there to take down the building, they could take what they want. This is what the city says. They could take your belongings. It no longer belongs to you. This is what they say. Like you're nothing. So we're gonna go into the fact like you didn't do your job in reference to the illegal parking of motor vehicles. All right, you didn't issue not one summons. That's already established. Why? Got a copy of his property. There's not one summons issued. Right. Then after the injury is caused, you tell me, get out. And then you like, if you don't show up the property, we're gonna take it down. Now the insurance is paid up in full. But the insurance, coming from Long Island, I'm not. That's why he never showed up coming from Long Island. I'm not paying you nothing. It's horrible, man. We need to be dealing with people that work in our own communities. I had an individual call me yesterday in reference to some other type of business they wanted me to get involved with. And I'm looking at the number and I'm like, where are you calling from? And they're like, Utah. And I'm like, you're calling from Utah, calling New York. Yeah. We have these same type of businesses in New York. Okay, what can you do? And the number one thing they say, oh, bitch, if you listen, then you listen for the meat. And the meat was, let me get your social security number. Never give your social security number over the phone. Never. Never. I say, oh, you want my social security number, right? Yeah. You can end this conversation right now. You're not getting my social security number. Because all they're going to do is just charge it to your straw man account. That's all. They're going to get paid. Trust me. They're going to get paid. But going back to the matter, these guys, they're under the city obligation. They're supposed to do something. They're supposed to do something, not steal your property. I came back on the block and I find my recliner in the neighbor's yard. That guy was cool with him. And I was like, yo, what is my seat? Just the seat part, not even the back. What is it doing in your front yard? He says, I don't know. So Phil Love, high rollers, Phil Love happened to roll up and it was with me and picked it up, took the stuff, and put it inside the storage. But this is your neighbors. You know what I'm saying? The city let them or those the demolition organization let them go inside. Told them take what you want, but it's going to call you and tell you on the phone, come on this day to pick up your belongings, whatever you want in the whole 9 yards. So you go and you rent a U-Haul, you win it for nothing because nothing was in it. And then when I catch them with the gazebo, he stays inside his property across the street and tells the same neighbor where my recliner was at. He tells him, "Yo, go in the yard and get that gazebo out." Because in a second, I was like, "Down, wow, stolen property, stolen property." He's probably got my brand new grill or the brand new grill. When this goes on, you got people start asking, "What's up, Rick?" They start asking you, do you want to sell this? Do you want to sell that? Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? Do you want to sell? I'm like, why are you worried about my grill? And I wanted to take my grill and also put it in storage, but I didn't get a chance to. And I came back and it was gone. This is stuff they do. And this all falls on the Department of Buildings and causing um, injury and mental anguish. Because you getting stressed out and that you got to go through therapy because you lost on one side and then you're losing on the other side. Good thing about it, the great thing about it, as they have me in injury, I stood up and I studied law every day. Every day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's potato chips. Like sit and study it every day and learn how to utilize it. It's really easy. The fact that I was a law enforcement officer is basically just grab the facts and who nothing else, then how do you use it, and then use it to the fact of what they were obligated to do, and what they failed to do. Really simple. And you go by their guidelines. What did they do? Then you go by those actual summonses, each one who wrote. And as they wrote the summonses in the whole 9 yards, you write it in the aftermath. And then you write the summonses. So you didn't write it for both locations. You just wrote it for one party. Yeah, when the action in order to get on lot B must come through lot A. You must come through lot A. So automatically that means that that's automatically in conjunction with lot A. But no, we're just gonna write him. So you're now showing your action. So that shows that you were just as dirty. I wouldn't dare write that. Philip, he's coming through here? Yeah. So you show those all his vehicles, yeah. And he's coming through here, yeah. Well, since he's coming through here, both of y'all get the time. Why? Because he's coming through here. This is how he's coming on over the curb. He's coming through your lot. Yeah, but he's over there. So tell you what, let's go and find out if he owns any of those vehicles. And if he doesn't, let's get a tow truck, sanitation, yank all of those vehicles out. Yank them all out. And let's wait for the owners to come. Then hold the owners accountable. It's not hard. It's just the fact of certain people like they want to play dumb. They want to play dumb. Not a problem. Play dumb all you want. You want to keep exposing everything. Dead. So on that note, you know what time it is. Facts cannot be altered nor denied. look like it might rain or something. Hey, make the best of the rest of this day. You have a wonderful one. All right, later.